You weren't born to be average. You weren't made to wake up tired, drag your feet, and complain about life. Look around. This world doesn't care about your feelings, and the clock keeps ticking whether you fight or fold. Somewhere deep inside you, there's a version of yourself that's been screaming to come out. The version with fire in his eyes, strength in his spine, and purpose in his soul. But you silence him every time you choose comfort over progress. Every time you hit snooze. Every time you doubt your worth. Enough. It's time to stop making excuses and start making enemies out of your weaknesses. You don't become powerful by playing safe. You become a monster by choosing pain over pleasure, sacrifice over sleep, war over peace. The world respects power. The world bows to those who demand more out of life. Be the man people fear losing. Be the one who walks into a room and shifts the air. You owe it to yourself to become something unrecognizable to the man you are today. Stop hiding behind softness. Be brutal. Be focused. Be obsessed. Stop being weak and become a monster. Weakness is a choice. Power is built daily through discomfort. That statement alone should shake something inside you. Not everyone will admit it, but most people walk through life as prisoners of their own comfort. They let fear dictate their decisions. They let laziness rot their potential, and they carry the heavy chains of self-pity, blame, and distraction. But here's the brutal truth. Life doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care about your past, your trauma, your struggles. It only respects results. And results are born in discomfort. Results are forged in pain. Results come to those who choose the hard road when everyone else is begging for ease. You think the man at the top was born strong? You think he stumbled into greatness by luck or accident? No, he was just like you once, broke, unsure, scared, but he made a choice, a decision to suffer now so he wouldn't have to suffer forever. Every drop of sweat, every moment of sacrifice, every early morning when his body said no, but his mind screamed yes. That's where power was born. Power doesn't come from books, from talking, or from waiting for motivation. Power is what you earn in silence, when no one is watching, when it's just you, your demons, and your decision to keep moving forward. Discomfort is the doorway to your evolution. Every time you face it, you get sharper, you get stronger. Every time you say yes to discipline and no to distraction, you become a different animal, a better one. The pain you avoid today becomes the regret you carry tomorrow. And regret is the heaviest weight a man can bear. That ache in your chest when you realize you could have been more, done more, pushed more, that doesn't fade. It haunts. But the man who chooses discomfort, he sleeps with pride because he knows what he sacrificed. He knows what he overcame. He doesn't need applause. His results speak for him. And you got to understand that comfort is the enemy. It whispers lies to you every day. Just rest. You've done enough. You'll try again tomorrow. And every time you listen, that weak version of you gets louder, stronger, bolder, until one day it becomes the only voice you hear. That's how people die before they're even in the ground. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They give up the fight. They trade the battlefield for the couch. They become shadows of what they could have been. But there's another way. The harder way, the right way. You wake up before the world and build yourself in darkness. You train your mind like a weapon. You move when it hurts. You push when your legs shake. You grind even when your heart's not in it. Because deep down you know that every ounce of struggle is planting a seed that will grow into greatness. You don't need it to feel good. You just need it to mean something. This path isn't glamorous. It's lonely. It's quiet. People will mock you. They'll call you obsessed. Good. That means you're doing it right. Because obsession is what separates average from elite. While others are seeking balance, you're creating chaos with purpose. You're building armor from adversity. And the best part, it's all in your control. You don't need permission to become powerful. You don't need anyone to believe in you. All you need is the will to endure, to suffer, to chase discomfort like it owes you everything. Because it does. The cold showers, the rejected deals, the failed reps, the sleepless nights, these are not setbacks. These are the bricks that build the monster. Every failure sharpens the blade. Every mistake is a lesson carved into your spirit. You take that pain, you own it, and you use it. You feed off of it. Because when the world sees pain, you see progress. When they feel fear, you feel fire. Weakness may come knocking, but you don't have to let it in. You don't have to live soft, fragile, and lost. You don't have to be a victim to your emotions, your circumstances, or your past. You can choose to be strong. You can choose to become relentless. You can choose discomfort. And in doing so, You choose to become dangerous. The kind of dangerous that commands respect. The kind of dangerous that protects, builds, leads, and wins. So ask yourself, are you going to keep living under your potential because it's easy, or are you going to suffer now so that you can dominate later? Are you going to settle for a weak existence, or are you going to rise and build yourself through the flames? Power is out there. Discipline is the currency. Discomfort is the gate. Weakness is a choice, and you are the one who decides. The world rewards savagery masked with discipline. That's the raw truth most people are too soft to accept. Everyone wants the reward, money, status, respect, power, but they don't want to become what's required to earn it. They want to be loved without being dangerous. They want results without pressure. They want to look like warriors, but act like cowards. And that's why they stay exactly where they are, lost in the noise, ignored by greatness, irrelevant in the fight for legacy. You see, savagery isn't about being reckless or brutal for no reason. It's about having a primal hunger inside of you, a relentless fire that refuses to die no matter how hard life hits you. But that raw power is useless without control. A wild dog bites everything and dies in a cage. A trained beast, disciplined and focused, that creature becomes unstoppable. Discipline is the leash that gives your savagery direction. Anyone can scream, anyone can lift a weight once, anyone can post some motivational garbage online, but what separates the elite from the average is this: consistency in suffering. Doing what needs to be done every single day, no matter how you feel. No whining, no waiting, no excuses. The savage does not rely on emotion. He operates on principles. He gets up when he's tired. He trains when he's sore. He works when everyone else is relaxing because he's not living for the temporary dopamine of comfort. He's hunting something bigger, something permanent, legacy, power, freedom. People will look at you and call you cold. They'll say you're obsessed, that you don't relax enough. Let them, because what they call obsession, you call purpose. What they call overkill, you call precision. While they scroll their lives away and medicate their boredom, you are carving yourself into a weapon, controlled, silent, unstoppable. That's what the world actually respects, not the loud talkers, not the fake hustlers, the ones who show up and deliver over and over again, the ones who don't break under pressure but become pressure. That's what gets rewarded in this world. Not kindness, not intentions, results. This world is not built for the weak. It doesn't hand out trophies for effort. It gives crowns to those who take them. But here's the part that most people never understand. Pure savagery without discipline is chaos, and pure discipline without savagery is empty. You need both. You need to be able to flip that switch. One moment calm, collected, calculating, the next moment ruthless, locked in, prepared to crush whatever's in front of you. You need to be the storm and the stillness before it. That's the secret. That's what winners are made of. Discipline is built in silence. It's built in the early mornings when nobody's watching. It's built in skipped parties, ignored distractions, delayed gratification. It's built when you tell yourself no. No to junk, no to comfort, no to weakness. You starve your soft side and feed the part of you that's hungry to grow. And here's the twist. Over time, discipline becomes freedom. While everyone else is a slave to their impulses, their emotions, their addictions, you're free as you command yourself. You own your time. You own your reactions. You move with intention while they move with confusion. And when you combine that control with the raw primal hunger of a savage, you become something rare, something dangerous. You become the man who doesn't need to brag because his results speak for him. You don't chase validation. You become the standard. You walk into a room and people feel you before you speak. You don't raise your voice. You raise your presence because people sense that you're built different, that you're carrying something inside that they can't explain, but they damn sure respect it. It's not about being the loudest in the room. It's about being the one they don't forget, the one who doesn't flinch under pressure, the one who's already fought battles no one knows about and came back sharper every time. You're not soft. You're not average. And if you've been living like you are, it's time to stop. Because this world does not need another nice guy who finishes last. It needs more monsters with morals, savages who build, protect, dominate with discipline, not emotion. So you've got two choices. Stay soft, stay stuck, stay sorry for yourself, or build discipline like armor. Sharpen your mind like a blade and let your savage out when it's time to take what's yours. Stop waiting for life to give you permission. You weren't made to fit in. You were made to take over. And the world will give you everything only if you're willing to become the monster who's earned it. Comfort is the killer of greatness. Reject it or be destroyed by it. It sounds extreme, but the truth always is. Comfort is the silent enemy. It doesn't strike loud or fast. It creeps in, soft, subtle, disguised as peace. It whispers sweet lies in your ear. You've done enough. You deserve a break. There's always tomorrow. And every time you listen to that voice, every time you trade discomfort for ease, a piece of your potential dies. Slowly, silently, without resistance. That's how greatness is destroyed. Not in one moment, but in thousands of tiny choices to stay still when you should have moved, to rest when you should have pushed, to watch when you should have built. Comfort makes you forget who you are. It makes you forget the hunger, the drive, the fire that once burned inside you. It numbs your purpose and feeds your ego just enough to keep you blind. You'll look in the mirror and see the same face, but inside you're fading. The discipline slips, the standards drop. You stop chasing excellence and start chasing relief. And before you even realize it, you're average. Comfortable, yes, but average. That's the trap. You think you've made it because your life is fine. But fine is the enemy. Fine is the graveyard of men who could have been great, but chose to coast. You don't build a legacy in fine. You don't leave a mark in fine. You die there, forgotten. One of many who started strong, but gave it all away for comfort. Look around. The people who live in comfort are the ones complaining the most. They're anxious. They're unfulfilled. They're soft because comfort breeds stagnation. Stagnation breeds regret. And regret will haunt you in a way pain never could. Pain makes you stronger. Pain forces you to grow. Pain demands evolution. But comfort lulls you into false security. It makes you think the danger has passed, that you can finally relax. But life doesn't stop. Life doesn't slow down. If you're not moving forward, you're falling behind. Period. The champions, the high performers, the ones we all look up to, they understand this. They don't seek comfort. They reject it. They embrace the cold, the pressure, the struggle, because they know that comfort kills ambition. It's in the moments when you're uncomfortable that you become more. When the alarm goes off and every part of your body screams to stay in bed, but you get up anyway. When you've failed 5 times and the 6th time breaks you, but you go again. That's where strength is forged. Not in ease, not in softness, but in pain, in sacrifice, in doing what most can't because you're becoming what most won't. You can't become powerful by being comfortable. You can't build greatness on cushions. Pressure, resistance, adversity. These are the weights that build the strongest minds. You want a strong body? Lift heavy. You want a strong life? Carry heavy responsibility. Do the hard things daily. Wake up earlier than you want to. Train harder than you think you can. Say no when everyone else is saying yes. The pain of discipline is brutal, yes, but it's pure. It sharpens you. And that pain is temporary. The pride is forever. But the pain of comfort, of knowing you settled, of realizing you could have been something greater but chose ease, that pain never fades. You have to become addicted to discomfort. Not because you like suffering, but because you understand it's the path. You need to wake up every day with a hunger to be better, to suffer on purpose, to bleed a little so you don't bleed a lot later. If it's easy, it's probably worthless. If it's hard, it's probably necessary. The people who chase comfort end up controlled by it. The people who chase struggle end up owning everything. That's how it works. And listen, comfort doesn't always look like rest. Sometimes it's comfort in your identity, comfort in your routine, comfort in the way things are. You stop challenging your beliefs. You stop evolving your goals. You start defending your limitations instead of destroying them. You wrap yourself in a life that looks full from the outside, but is hollow on the inside. And you wonder why you feel lost. It's because you stopped choosing war, you stopped hunting, you stopped creating pressure for yourself, and now life is pressing down on you instead. Greatness is uncomfortable by design. It demands your energy, your time, your focus, your pain. It's not something you stumble into, it's something you fight for every single day. And the fight doesn't happen in a stadium or on a stage, it happens in the quiet moments, in the choices nobody sees, when you feel like quitting and you don't. When you feel like taking it easy and you go harder. That's where greatness is made. That's where comfort dies and the real you is born. So ask yourself, Are you choosing comfort over growth? Are you trading what you want most for what feels good right now? Because if you are, know this. You're not escaping pain. You're just delaying it. And the longer you wait, the heavier it gets. Reject comfort. Run from it like it's poison, because it is.